Yes, good morning to all of you. This is today we have a very precious guest here from the Dubai, and he is working with the cyber innovation technologies. He is a senior partner and chief practitioner, Mr. Pradeep Luthria. And ahead of these, he is also the senior consultant and working with the Dubai technologies and cyber technologies with Hong Kong. So he has a very good profile, being an organizer and representative with ARMS Automotive, that is Automated Requirement Management Systems, and associated with several other also tech initiatives and ventures, including USA. So he has a very good persona in terms of knowledge, in terms of art, in terms of software. So today he is going to share his knowledge with us, and we are so enlightened to have him as a guest. So let's start with this. So before proceeding, I would just like to give some few words about the Adfar Tech. As you know, I am the Sonal Shah, your host for today's, and we have this Adfar Tech. So we are IT and tech platform with focus on IT solutions, IT resources, recruitments, and tech audio podcasts. We have a vendor alliances with now 50 plus tech partners, including SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, Pega, OutSystem, and Apples. And we sell Salesforce, Clarida, Informatica, and many others. And the major key solutions we provide includes ERP application, development, data, and artificial intelligence and machine learnings with blockchain, cloud management services, and UI UX testing. And till date, we have more than 90,000 resources all across the skills, and we can deliver on-site and off-site within the 24 hours. That is our great strength. So right now we are super impressed with Mr. Pradeep Luthria, and we want him to, have a very good insight about his technology and knowledge in the cyber security. So today he is going to discuss some more, and creating awareness about the cyber security. So his topic is why you should be ahead of cybersecurity now more than ever before. So let's deep dive with him, and I'm just giving off the out of his mic, and ask him first about something more about himself, and then we will proceed with the question answer. So, Mr. Pradeep, are you ready to rock?
Yes. Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be with Adfar for this podcast event. Thank you so much. And very impressive to hear all the activities of Adfar. I think there is not a single area of the tech space that you people are not putting your finger there. Uh, I heard all those legs. So it's a very good opportunity for me to know more about you all also. As for me, yeah, I'm based in Dubai, and of course, I am from India originally. But the part of my life has been that we have been abroad for most of the life because my dad was with an oil company, and he was transferred when we were very small to the Far East. So my growing up years have been rather outside of India, but the familiarity with India is very much there because of frequent visits and yeah, groups are connected. Yes, absolutely. So definitely fully Indian in every aspect, but with a very international exposure. And that is the personal background. Professionally, I originally started working in the oil and gas industry, both in the downstream and the upstream sectors from the technology point of view.
Okay.
So so that meant systems to do the reservoir engineering and preparation of drilling and helping various geophysicists and geologists with their work using their systems, from Schlumberger, Halliburton, and others. And then carried on. So I was with a company called Mers Oil, and then I got a transfer to Mers Line, which was the shipping arm of that same group, AP Muller Group, and came to know about shipping. And then gradually, somehow, I landed up in the port and supply chain sector. So most of the work I do is focused in supply chain and automation of the supply chain, which is inside the port as well as outside the port. And cybersecurity is a topic close to my heart because to me it is a big scourge which we together have to tackle. People are sitting very very comfortably without knowing the danger. It's like you are sitting and under your chair but you're not recognizing that there's a bomb under your chair. So I'm here to talk about that bomb.
That's great. Yeah. So you should have very different background, starting career with the oil and gas and then jumping into his technologies and I guess to, specific cyber security and all IT related services. So how come these, these transitions were...
So actually, if you look at technology, it's like a liquid, Sonal. You can pour it into any shape of bottle or glass, it takes that shape. So if I tell you, don't be shocked, a system that is used in a, let's say, oil refinery and a stock market, they are having a lot of similarity, and you will be surprised if you are from technology, so maybe you won't be so surprised. But if we are looking at, a feed of data, which can be from the stock market prices or from instruments giving the physical parameter values, temperature, density, flash point, viscosity, and you are manipulating that and just you are creating alarms that if it reaches to this point, you need to do this. If it reaches to this point, you need to do this. So as a managing of data, there is no difference if you look at any kind of process. So it becomes really easy if you look at it from that point of view. I hope that example was sufficient.
I think says that and it was a kind of thing that you can, pour into any of the shape and it can change their shape. So that is a very...
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah. So let's just start at, and whatever everything that I wanted to know or to my audience wanted to know is, so in this, interconnected world between an agile living, so why it is crucial, more than ever to be aware of this cybersecurity? And what are some recent developments or trends that, you are managing or you are, think that people should know without, they having the background of technology or not having the background of technology?
So the first thing to realize is our world has completely changed. Even whether you are an individual or whether you are sitting in a workplace or you are running your own enterprise. If you were looking at the world 50 years ago, world was very different because digital capabilities have come and engulfed us in every which way. Some of it is very good, and some of it is like a ferocious animal that if you don't keep it trained, it can bite you. Uh, for example, now if you at the end of the day, if you look at KYC, which is a pain in the neck for everybody because bank will keep telling you every 6 8 months they will tell you KYC, KYC, KYC. So what has happened is we are having a problem with trust, and that becomes even worse in the digital world. So if you see the solution that has come for trust, okay, we have a biometrics and we have OTPs and all these multi-factors. You can see everywhere in life, as simple as opening a bank account or, even if you have a portal to buy cinema tickets or if you have a, Amazon account, Prime account, you need to put your identity there. You need to put your credit card there. So everywhere you are leaving a digital data about yourself and how that data can be misused or used, you need to be more vigilant. So I will say the most important thing about this interconnected world is that people are not sufficiently being self-aware and they're being taken for a ride, they're losing, they're not even coming to know, maybe sometimes they're cheated. And so this is a real big problem. So sophistication and the attacks that are happening. Connected devices may not all carry the same standard of security, and you are trusting it. And we are relying more and more on today. If you want to withdraw money and you go to the bank and they tell you system is down, you can't do anything.
Yes.
If the other days they will recognize you are please have tea. Okay, don't worry, you sign it and go. I will give you the money and later on I'll put it in the system. Those helpful days that is gone now. You see, and yeah, that is right. That is they become impersonal thanks to the digital technology.
Yes, yes.
And the the most important thing to remember is that cyber criminals are better funded and better aware and are more in number around us than people who are aware and who are trying to defeat them. It's a losing battle. Yeah, it's a losing battle.
In technology. They are masters in technology, and we are not. That's why, they are cheating on us with our assets only.
Yes, exactly. So whenever we keep our guard down, they are there to exploit. So this is important. So the interconnected world, I hope that the example was good. That right from when you're buying using a portal or your mobile phone, you're paying somebody. There is so much of fraud, even this Paytms and all that. They are finding a way to cheat you. So you need to be more aware of this connected world.
Right. So, in line with your bodies only, or if we go in line with, your examples only, like the people are, facing these cybersecurity related challenges, and people are facing this kind of, OTP threats, and their data are, being theft and so on. So,
Yes.
in terms or in relations with that, what are the other some of the most pressing cybersecurity challenges that individuals or the organizations face today? And do we have any kind of the common solutions or approaches that we can make them available easily?
So, of course, just to name a few types of threats that we are seeing increasing, ransomware is taking the lead as number one. What is ransomware? It is, like in the Indian weddings, they hide the shoe of the groom and fully pays money to the shoe that. It's a playful ransomware. Back in
Uh, it's very weird examples. I don't know how I'm not correlating, but each and every examples are so precious for me now. I don't need to, go and find something to relation with that. But
yes, yes.
your example, I get anything easily.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what happens is if you have some value, something of value, somebody wants to take it away from you, either it is of value to a market outside, or it is of value only to you and you will pay anything to get it back, right? So there are these two pathways that happen. And so if your data is marketable, if it is, for example, your credit card information or your identity, which can be used for some nefarious purpose, then there is a buyer for that in the dark web. Or if you yourself are in such a situation that the loss of your own data means difficulty for your organization, you'll be willing to pay something to get it back. So this is the premise on which both of these are successful. So in both the cases, you need to make sure that you have alternative ready for the wedding scenario. Your best man has carried extra shoes and slippers in his bag hidden somewhere. I said, don't worry, don't pay them. You take this and okay. And that's that. So
You must have a backup. They're so strong that you don't need to, have your original.
exactly. Exactly. So, having said that, there is sometimes a gap between your backup and your real system, and you should have also the ability to somehow cross that gulf without too much of grief. And that opens a door now when we talk about the insurance industry. Uh, insurance industry is very traditional, and now it is trying to change to support the digital world. And so there is a lot of change happening there. One important thing that has happened, Sonal, is we are moving from the snapshot to the real time. Now, I'll give one example. Let us say that today I come and I look at a building and I say, this building, I've inspected the building, it is safe for you to live in this building for 1 year. And after I go away, within 1 month, actually in the foundation there is a big crack. But I will not come to know, the residents will not come to know till the inspector comes the next year. But nowadays, the way the construction is happening, we are putting sensors and making the building smart.
Yes.
So if you are getting the real time data, then insurance is even better, more practical, because the insurance company knows, oh, I am on top of it. I know that there was an incident because there is an evidence, and I will happily cover it. But other, there's always this, what was the cause? If that cause was the next door neighbor, he was drilling something, and the building had a. There are so many avenues for argument and something. So I'm giving a very simple example that people can understand that we're moving from where today you can wear a smartwatch which is continuously monitoring your health. If you're, let's say, you're prone for a high BP, you can even trigger that watch to send a message. You know that this person is, and then somebody will call you and say, "Papa, please come for the checkup." So the real-time data is there, and so therefore the real-time data, if it reaches wrong hands, also it's also a problem. That's another way to look at threats. So phishing attacks are still, I think it's very strange in spite of all the knowledge about, it.
Coming into the newspaper, into news channels, and many, almost all the social medias. But
Yeah,
I don't know why the people are still, not getting into these, and still again,
so,
the same and same crime and scandals.
so I'll give you one very good example. We have, uh, you know, let's say a very digitally aware community of users who are using the benefits of the net, but they are not trying to understand the net. So everybody wants to go to a restaurant and pose with the with the food or with the decor, have an Instagram page. But the first thing they will do is they will ask the restaurant, "You have Wi-Fi?" And the restaurant will give them the Wi-Fi. Now, imagine if you have, let's say, you went to a restaurant and you didn't ask, "Is there a Wi-Fi?" But for the name, let's say it was a, let's say, Adam and Eve restaurant. And you open your phone and you find one Adam and Eve free Wi-Fi, one Adam and Eve free Wi-Fi, two, like that you find it. You don't even care to ask, you will just connect it. Now, actually, that may not even be the real Wi-Fi from Adam and Eve. Somebody may be sitting there with their own device and creating the persona of Adam and Eve, which is immediately trusted, and then you are already trapped. You will then go down the road of having some kind of a bot or agent on your machine, and then you will carry that to your office. You will carry that to your home, and it will spread with your emails. It will spread with your forwards, and you have created a window for things to happen. So you need to be more alert about these things. Thus, there are, these days we are having the threat of zero-day attacks. We're having IoT devices that are not properly secured. Somebody took command of a car remotely and prevented the braking of the car and all that. So these incidents have been happening, and people are still not paying heed to the security elements.
Yes, yes. These all things, look alike, just I'm correlating with, what I am thinking and what I was watching. It is like, so if you know this all Mission Impossible series, there are some kind
Yes.
of gadgets they are using it. They are using some technologies. So whenever the person goes here or there, they are, checking and meeting with those securities, and they are creating some kind of cyber threats.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I can
It's a,
express the thing. Yeah.
I will tell you that even in my line, many around, probably around 12 to 14 years ago, we had a lot of problem with piracy at sea, where the ships would be kidnapped and held at ransom off the coast of Africa. I don't know whether you are aware of this. Big ships, 8, 10 pirates armed with guns would just be able to take over a full ship because there is no weapon on a ship to protect, commercial shipping. So inside the ship, there may be 10,000 containers, but but the pirates knew which container had the valuables. How do they know that? Even the crew of the ship doesn't know that. So they used to have skills from beforehand. Okay, even very, let's say, rudimentary, basic piracy at sea. Somebody was selling them the information. you know. So not only the value of the crew for the ransom, or the ship for the ransom, or the cargo for the ransom, but inside that cargo also some valuables they could loot. So this is it's an eye opener to understand that information, if it's not secured, it can reach the wrong hands.
Right. So in these, can I ask you one more questions? Like, I'm just a common person, I'm not an industrialist or I'm not a big celebrity kind of a thing. So if I just wanted to, protect on my own data, whatever I'm getting into the job or in the mobile or whenever I'm going, wherever I'm going. So is there any, few steps which I might have to follow every time or, which can, make my data protected? Any basic steps,
Yeah, sure.
no, like the face identifications or the biometrics, whatever it is there. But as you say, whenever you are going to hotel, restaurants, or any other common public place, nowadays this Wi-Fi is the common things, which you can access directly from that part. So,
Yes,
it's
yes.
like myself, my data protected.
So the first thing is to be aware and educated that not every free Wi-Fi is safe. So take a little trouble to ask, the premises or the people who are running the event or wherever you are, that is this a trusted Wi-Fi? If they tell you it's not, you may be better off paying a little extra and using your own mobile data and being your own gateway, for your laptop with your mobile phone or whatever. Because if there's a doubt, then better uh, don't proceed with that free thing. You know, there's a very important saying that keeps coming back in my head. My dad told me, now God bless his soul, he is not with me anymore, but he said, son, in life you'll know that nobody gives anything free except your parent. And you'll realize that later in life only. So everything else has a price. Some of the prices are very dear, and some of the prices, once you start paying, you cannot stop. So, which you need to always bear in mind. Yeah, so the first thing is, of course, being aware. Second is make sure that you have the latest and best versions of all the applications that you're using, whether it's your mobile or whether it's your computer. Because the manufacturers of the software keep finding vulnerabilities and they keep solving those vulnerabilities, and they give the patches to update it. And if you are having a version which is not patched, then that vulnerability can be exploited by somebody. So make sure that you're using the latest version of everything, especially if your bank is doing an upgrade and they say update the mobile, but you are in a hurry, you need to make payments. Don't do that. Just upgrade it and then do it so that the bank has put effort to block any vulnerabilities. You should have the benefit of that. Third one is to make sure you have a backup, an alternative, another pair of shoes with a friend. Have a Google Drive, have a iDrive. Uh, you can put an encryption on your data. You can put a password on your data, and be regular with updating your password. Also, I went to visit some friends after 2 years, and their house password was still the same for their Wi-Fi. As soon as I walked in, I was the laptop and everything connected. I said, "What is this?" They said, "No, our password is our phone." So I said, "No, that's very interesting, but please don't do that because you will find that it can be a gateway for somebody." And
And yes, that is the main option. Yeah.
take a moment, just take a moment and sit down and think about your life and imagine if any one of those things that you need daily is not available to you. How will you do it as an option? Create that kind of disaster planning in your mind. That if I forget my phone, uh, will I do? If I don't carry the laptop, what will I do? Or if I like, if the bank system is or the ATM is not working, and I need a very important payment to be made, what is my option? Where is the other ATM? Plan that on a regular basis, and the technology then will not ever let you down. So that is how, as a person, you can kind of.
To know all the points are, I just noted down
And
and it's very
yeah, and the obvious things, of course. Yeah, you must have antivirus, you must keep this, you must keep firewall, all the obvious things I'm not telling. Everybody knows that.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is in terms of like personal usage. So in terms of these small businesses, those who have a limited resources or those who cannot hire a major kind of I can say antiviruses or a major applications. So do you recommend any kind of a special defense mechanism or any kind of special services that they can have for basic of coverage of their ID requirements or their sources or data or anything kind of things.
So in principle, very much the same expansion on the individual perspective. See, first of all, people think that they are too small or too insignificant for their business to be attacked. I met somebody, he said, Pradeep bhai, I am alone in my office. I have only two girls sitting outside and we don't have any systems. We are only using email and, everyone is telling about cybersecurity. What can I do? Am I at risk? I said, everybody is at risk. Even if you are such a small company, you are at risk. He said, but how? I'm not doing anything. Who will come? So I gave him the example that maybe you went to a Starbucks and you used the Wi-Fi and you came with your laptop to the office. Can that happen? He said, oh, very often I travel in the airport, I use the lounge. I use the Wi-Fi. I said, see, there you go. So first of all, your own behavior can bring a kind of a vulnerability into your workplace.
Yes.
Okay. So let us connect the dots on those two behaviors. Number one. Secondly, what do you do in the day? He said, I am actually only connected with the bank to check whether the payments are coming because that's my biggest concern. So I said, so all day long you are connected online to the bank, which means that you are actually part of the bank's network for those for, for all practical purposes. You are trusted and you are given an access to your own account in the bank. If somebody else has some superior levels of access through that same connection, and if you have an unsafe Wi-Fi, they may be able to see what you are doing, your account number, your, uh, you know, uh, so you may not be alone when you think you're doing something alone. You know, there could be a shadow, and yeah. So if you are not aware of that, then your behavior around the workplace will be unsafe. So now I've given you already some scenarios. So he was quite shocked. He was quite shocked. Of course, I will say again the same thing. Make sure whatever office software you're using is the up to date. Whatever the recommended firewalls, etc. Email hygiene. Lot of spam messages come. You may forget a lot of the usual basic things. But more importantly, make sure everybody in the team, whether it's a 3% team or a 30,000 strong team, make sure they're all aware about the risks. Because if they are not aware, even one person will open the door and monster will come inside.
Yes.
So that's how we should view it.
This invisible monster. So we don't know
Yes,
from where it came and who brings it. Yes, that is.
yes, yes,
Yes, yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. So going with these only, just wanted to know, like people have, some common misconceptions about the cybersecurity. Like, they can face the problems through mobiles or through bank apps only, or through any kind of, the finance transactions, because most of the, hacks happens through that only. So any
Yeah, yeah.
advice would you like to offer and display these kind of needs and, promote the background understanding on this cybersecurity?
Definitely. Um, just a minute. Uh, I just closed the noise. Okay. Ultimately, the those misconceptions is that bada company may they have to do a lot of things to secure their system, but chota company may we don't need anything. So that is one misconception. Then some people think that just if they have an antivirus software which they buy once and they put it there, they can do anything. Now, even with software, many times in the bottom right corner, there will be some messages. The antivirus software is trying to communicate to you something. Most people ignore that. They don't even open it. It could be saying that I found an unsolved file. Please view it.
Yes.
Please tell what to do with it. But people don't even click that. I have all the people's machines where 50, 80, 100 messages are lying from the logs of the software. And I said, you have put the software, but you're not using it.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it will work everything automatic. You know?
Yes.
But so it is not like that. So you have to participate. If you it's not something you have to participate, you have to use it. And but
Yes.
the other thing is everybody thinks that they are not a target. Now remember this that you don't need to be a Tata or a Birla to be a target.
Yes. Yes.
You just need to be stupid enough. That's all. So when they are putting the worm on the hook in the water, they are not targeting any one particular fish. Any fish that sees the worm, they are happy. Like fishermen, they are not saying I only want a fish weighing 700 grams, nothing less. If even 1 kilo fish comes or 500-gram fish comes, they pull up the hook and they grab it.
Whatever it is, that is, like, but whether it's a big box or a small box, the box is a main important thing.
Exactly, exactly. So imagine yourself to be a fish in the sea and you see a hook. It's the fish is not having your name on it, but you are going to that hook. So the people behind the hook, they don't know you, but they're just fishing.
Yes.
Well, you should remember that the other thing is people think if they spend some money and they call some expert and get the job done, they are very secure. Now, many a time you need also just, for example, how we do an audit. We come and we check whether the things are going as per the process. Bring another vendor after you are finished with the first vendor and say, give me your opinion of my system and see whether that vendor can come up with any gaps that earlier vendor did not cover.
Right.
You know, and it's a very simple thing to do. It may cost little money, but at the end of the day, you want to have the certainty that whatever you have invested in that area is going to work for you. And if you just trust blindly, then what do you do? When you buy a piece of jewelry, you tend to always have in your mind, is it genuine? The minute you get a charge, you go somewhere abroad, you show, I see this diamond. What is it? And then sometimes you find out it's a lot different from what you thought when you bought it. You know? So you need to cross check, you need to calibrate, you need to audit your systems and your processes with another opinion, maybe two also, you know. And information management is very important. You need to make sure that you have a proper classification in place. So whatever is risk information or it is properly attended to. It's not lying everywhere. Copies of your data are not lying in everybody's machines, and things like that. You need to do a basic housekeeping. Would you tell me in your home? Would you leave the valuables just on the coffee table? No, your home wouldn't do that. But here, you're willing to leave valuables on anybody's computer and all that. That is a that is the comparison you need to make. Wow.
Yes, that is a very good, the best understanding you have provided about this cyber security. Very, and in a very easy manner that any layman can also understood, as well as any professional can match with the requirements that
Absolutely. No, I see. I have allergy to people who talk tech with all acronyms, and if today you want to talk about NIST standards and ISO standards and EDECE standards and whatever. I mean, it's fine when you have the right company, you can talk that way. But mostly people, you cannot get the message across unless you give it to them in a language and examples that they will understand.
yes, very
And so I'm yeah. Sonal, I am so much worried about cybercrime that I will say something, and you may be also quite sober to hear this. But I am worried that imagine an aircraft flying there with around 500-600 people uh, is flying, and then some of the airport authorities receive a call that we have taken command remotely of this aircraft, and we are not going to allow you to land unless you pay us. And what is the next steps? the airline will take, airport authorities will take, IATA will take. I mean, what are we doing if we are not talking agency to agency? Um, we are nowhere. I mean, it could be us, it could be our family. It's at that plane. So, if in this kind of scenario, if a person like me is not convinced that whatever is in place is sufficient, I am telling you, we're going more and more into a very, very, uncharted territory, and we need to get a grasp on it.
Very true.
So this is why when you approach me to be a participant on your show, I take every opportunity. I must tell you, I speak very often at many events, shipping events and technology events. But I have a horrible experience. What they will do is they put me on the first day, second hour, then they'll come to me and say, "Can we move it to second day?" Then they'll move me to second day, second half. Then they'll say, and I will see the crowd is thinning out because whilst while selling the event, they want to show cybersecurity, this, that in the agenda. But when the practical thing comes, they want to promote more. Oh, then usage of new fuel in the ships versus the use of fuel in the ship. We will have an expert. He will talk and this and that. And this cybersecurity topic will get pushed ungratefully to the edge. Okay. I have refused. I have told them if you are going to do that, I'm not coming to speak. I have actually cleared organizers. So this is where my mental position on this is that we need more people to be vocal about this topic, and I'm very happy to talk with this.
Yes, yes, that is a very good, direct or indirect, whatever the people say, but it's a very good contribution to the society. Like many people can give the good funds in terms of money, in terms of other, helps and all.
Exactly.
Like something, will not directly going to affect, but indirectly, it's, the main key requirements that there should be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, just taking a side by this. So, are you currently working on any such IT projects?
I am.
Cyber.
Indeed, I am. In all the projects I do, even if my client does not ask me to be vigilant for the cyber, because they try to put you in a box in IT. They try to say IT security people is different, and IT development is different, and the business team is different, and you need to understand that level of awareness about cyber security, vigilance, and threat management has to be built into every process, not just coming at the end. That now we send the source code for review to security team, and security team will look at it in a very, in a very, let's say, focused manner, only looking for unserved code or opportunity for whatever vulnerabilities to come, or was whatever. I mean, they're looking for all kind of things which are critical. Okay, whereas the whole organization can work together to make sure the product is coming out with a high quality, including being resistive to cyber threats, right from the design, right from every element. It's not just one person's job. So I'm working also with various companies coming with an interest for cyber insurance. So we have some services and products that help you to not only find out whether your data is vulnerable, but how it can be exploited if somebody tries to exploit it, and what is the value of that data in the market in real money terms. We can do a scan and tell you, and you can well be convinced that, oh my God, I didn't think of my life or my company having this kind of potential for loss. And so we are helping people to realize these things and we're trying to work with insurance companies to help them to properly cover customers, because customers just make a blank declaration and insurance companies cover that. But later on, when the claim is made, they start looking deeply. They don't agree this, they don't agree that. They share. lot of heated arguments. So better than that, beforehand only do the health check, just like a medical exam you do before you buy insurance. Uh, do some cyber prudence, some introspection and extrospection, and basically reach a stage where there is a believable story, there's a believable definition of threat detection, event management, and measuring exactly what kind of damage, material damage could happen in a cyber attack. And it's not that way. So we are working in that space actually.
Right, right. That's a good to know. That's a good to know. So, like, just heading with these only. So, nowadays in India also, if you see, there are lots of smart cities related implementations and the things are going on. Like recently, I'm based in Gujarat, so I know there's a Burj city in this Surat. That is a
Yeah.
a new city coming up with all the different technologies and more of a I can say a very high of tech. So is there any additional cyber risk that will come into play that people should be aware of these things, or government should be be self I can say procure with all that things? So is there anything?
So you brought up a very good topic, because we are going head over heels with adopting new technologies and autonomous vehicles and smart cities, and all of these are bringing more risk along with the benefit. Today, just I'll give you an example. There are now cars which are autonomous. The car can drive itself. That, but then the licensing authorities used to have a mandate that you cannot drive a car unless you have a driving license. But
Yeah.
what? The insurance company will not cover your car unless you have a driving license. But your car is driving itself. So now, if your self-driving car has an accident with a person who's driving the car, what is the position of the insurance? I mean, these are various things that are going to happen. There will be a stage of transition when the world is moving from point A to point Z. Every alphabet in the middle is in transition, right? So, how do you handle that transition with technology and the old method to be in harmony? Is a huge challenge. If you talk about smart city, you have so much more data. Let's say there was an experiment done. The cameras of the autonomous car were looking at the signs, and if it was 30 kilometers speed limit, the car was slowing down. So some mischief makers, they put a black paint and made the 30 to 80, and the car came second time and started spinning because it's not easy. So then, of course, the question came, okay, how will we stop this? Okay, we will make the speed limit also a digital signal. Okay. But like your mission example, Mission Impossible example, I can then hack that and make it 100. Or I can stop the red lights, I can keep all lights green. And you know how they have said, but everything is possible now. So you can just imagine that number of data points, the number of data capturing that's happening, and what and how the data has to be secured so that it's not, used by a terrorist. Imagine today the war is going on. If Hamas got access to Jewish cities traffic uh, command center,
Right, right.
which they could create a chaos. They could prevent the military vehicles from moving towards the border. They could create a chaos. So today the state-sponsored cyber terrorism is a huge one. It's a huge topic. It's another weapon. Just like you have a nuclear nation, you have a nation that's capable of adopting cyber means to disable the strength of a enemy country. So this is not this is not stuff to be minimized. We should be talking about it, and we should be aware that if we go with the smart city growth, we need to also have proper cyber security in place. It doesn't work against us.
Yeah, that's very, very true and very good. The things you have kept on line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is all, good things. We just, some of the things we are, aware of, but we are not, taking care or not keeping on the mind on that. We are just thinking that, things will be in place. We have an antivirus, we have this kind of a software, those things will be, place. But some
Correct.
insights we always have to, keep in mind before going to public places and all. So with each and every example, so that provide us a very good relations and the things we can easily remember whenever we go
I
into
do
that
hope. I
particular
do hope
place.
so.
Yes, yes.
I do hope so.
Very, very good, things to know. And we are so delighted and so enriched with the cybersecurity knowledges. So, just, before I just say goodbye to you, I'm just thinking on behalf of Adfar also, I'm just from myself also, because a few of the things we are aware of, but we are neglecting the things, we are ignoring the things that, everywhere the things were written that we are at cyber crime, but we are not keeping that. But the chat examples I have given, that different other examples you have given, that you
Yes.
make the people think one more time. I'm not saying that they are going to implement everything within a second, but at least
Yes.
you have provided us that thought. So I think the people will be definitely gives them another side to look on it, and they will be bit aware of more down and more be focused on that. So there
Sure.
is a thank you so much, Mr. Pradeep, and we are so grateful to have a host guest like you, and we are so delighted to have a conversation with you. So thank you
My
so much.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much. And it is actually a very important topic. So please pass it along. Even if you pass 10% of what you heard today to other person, it will make our journey to making the world a better place, safer place, more easy. So please do that. Thank you so much.
I can implement that or not or whatever, but at least this should involve the thoughts in their mind. That is the most important thing. Yeah.
Thank you
So
so much.
thank you so much. Thank you so much on behalf of Adfar also, and from my side too. Thank you so much, Mr. Pradeep.
All right. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you.